Yes, everybody, we are back. We are back. I'm hooded up. I'm somber today. I don't want to hear nothing. It's gray. The weather's just bad. Like my mood is bad. But anyway, I'm happy to be speaking to you, Thizo, bro. Another installment on the football bias. Just reacting to the weekend. So yeah, everybody keep liking, subscribing as usual. Thank you so much. Let's get the plug out. Whatever you do, just yeah, spread the news. And I'm not myself, Tizo. I'm not myself, bro. I'm not myself. It was a rough
Hard to
weekend.
be yourself, man.
Yeah, it was a rough weekend. But anyway, man, we're gonna get into it. Firstly, before we get into other things, bro, I want to start with if you are Man City, right? Having won your game on Saturday, 5-1 against Luton, like we always knew it was gonna happen. And then you're watching on Sunday, you're nervous. You're just like, what's gonna happen with these guys? You're hoping your best case scenario is what? Both teams losing. But like, what are the chances of that? So hopefully one of them should drop points, be it Liverpool, be it Arsenal. First game goes on, Liverpool whacked 1-0 at home. Okay, you're like, okay, yes, we'll take that. Then Arsenal play, whacked 2-0 at home, Aston Villa. What do you think is going on in their psyche? Is it like, yo, it's a wrap? You guys gave us. You guys slipped up. We are taking this. It's gone.
Yeah, I think initially the excitement would lead you to do that, but I think that's where experience comes in, you know. City have been here, they've done this. So you would have been excited yesterday, but by the time they open their eyes this morning, it's like, okay, let's make sure we don't do that. You know, let's make sure we do what we're known to do and to go on a run. So I don't think they're sitting there like super excited. If anything, that just helps them lock in, especially with a manager like Pep, where it's like all they were waiting for was an opportunity, you know?
Mm.
It's like, let us get an opportunity so that we can do what we're known to do. And they're fortunate in the sense that they got that opportunity this weekend, maybe not in the way that they expected to, but there's a reason why all the odds had them as favorites even before yesterday's results, you know? So
And
it's
now it's
quite ominous
just
for the other two.
it's just further exacerbated the odds. Like before we even started recording, I saw that like there's some a betting firm or betting bookie, whatever online thingy.
Yeah.
Like they had already run odds on Man City winning the league, or something happened where now they had to like basically they lost 750K somehow. I don't know how. But it's just, I don't
Damn.
know what the nitty-gritties are, but because they didn't do something, they didn't alter their odds before yesterday. And now that the odds have changed, now the people that have bet on Man City to win the league, like they've won some, I don't know. But it's just like the odds are just now essentially stacked in their favor, even before yesterday happened. And the fact that
Sure.
yesterday happened just like further just compounded those odds, man. Um, I don't know, man. We don't speak to a lot. I don't know a lot of Man City fans, I'll be honest. It's very hard. I wanted to speak to one of them. But now if I'm just thinking, bro, like, and we even look at the statistics, look at the numbers that tell us the only time that they were leading at this point, or let me say, whenever they've led at this point of the season, they've went on to win it. The only time that Pep hasn't won the season was when Liverpool, when the COVID year, just blitzed that season. After 20, 25 games, the league was virtually won by Liverpool.
Yeah.
Other than that, whenever they are leading at this stage of the season, like they're going to win. And what I was hoping for is that either one of Liverpool or Arsenal can just maintain a lead above Man City until it's rather unassailable, or rather they'll always be within touching distance, but we'll know, right? But now that we let them get ahead, that was the issue. And I want to start first with, how do you think Jurgen Klopp lets something like that happen? Because this is a must-win game. We're at home. This is our final home game. leading into they're going to play 4 away games. Atalanta, who they're going to play? It's Atalanta
Yeah,
away,
Fulham.
then it's Fulham away, then it's Everton
Mm-hmm.
away, then the final one
Yep.
is who they got
Spurs.
last?
Spurs
Spurs
away.
away. So you'd think that was in my head. I was like, this is the game Liverpool need to win, and they will win it. And then like the game just happens, and then you see the same fragilities that we've seen, and I, for one, feel very vindicated because this Liverpool that we are watching now is the same Liverpool that I've been watching. It's just that they always had a Jota, a Thingy, a Salah, a McAllister worldie to bail them out. And I always felt like it was going to catch up when these guys are off form. And now it's happened. Darwin Núñez can't hit a barn door. Mohamed Salah all of a sudden being offside, like, not really himself, you know.
Yeah, he's awful.
And this happens like this. Why does this always happen like when it's after AFCON, Salah, for some reason? Whenever it's an after AFCON tournament, he's just. So, but other than that, like, I'm just struggling to understand because like, I'm a Liverpool fan. Like, I'm teed off, bro. Like, I'm pissed off. Because how do we let this happen? Because essentially, by Arsenal losing, they are still within chat. But if Arsenal went on to do what Arsenal was supposed to do, they would have effectively been out of the race. So
Yeah.
do you have any positivity? Do you think there's any positivity that Liverpool can hold on to?
Yeah, the fact that they're still in it by virtue of Arsenal not having won their game. I think that that's definitely a positive. How they were feeling before that Arsenal game and how they were feeling after, despite having had a negative result, would be very different. Had Arsenal gone on to win their game, I mean, you already saw what it looked like on X before that game, like before the Arsenal game. It was, that's the season done. Oh, we're done for blah, 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 blah. But as soon as the Arsenal result came through, it was just like, it still stings, but you're just like, whew,
Oof.
yeah, at least we're still in
Yeah.
with a chance. We're still within
Mm,
like one game. If City drop points, we win, we're effectively back ahead,
exactly.
And I think that's the beauty of this title race is that
Mm.
there isn't an out and out winner. Like, yes, the odds are overwhelmingly in City's favor, but they know if they slip up, they're within touching distance, you know? Which has
Yeah.
always been the case as well for the other teams as well. It was like if you slip up, City's within touching distance. Now we've seen, now City are
Mm.
in that position.
Yeah, man. For me, like, bro, do you really see Man City dropping points? Like take away the football is football, anything can happen, bloody bloody blah. Like black and whites, look at their games, look at Man City, look at the form, KDB, Rodri, like bro, no injuries apart from Ake and that. But essentially, bro, being real with yourself, do you see them dropping points or enough points for somebody to overtake?
Yeah, because effectively all it would take is a draw. It's not like they can lose a game. Like if
Mm.
you draw a game and the other two teams win, you're level.
Mm-hmm.
you know? So it's literally when they talk about squeaky bum time, it's squeaky bum time. And you ask me, do I really see them possibly dropping points? I do, because it's not like they have easy games. I mean, their next game is Brighton away. Important
Come
also to
on,
contextualize
bro.
these things. No,
Nah,
if we had spoken prior to the Liverpool Crystal Palace game, right? Everybody, I was listening to
What?
people on in media speaking before that game, and they're like, Crystal Palace are not ready for what Liverpool's about to do to them. Liverpool's going to put things right from the Atalanta game. There's
Mm.
no chance of Liverpool losing this game, but I don't think we'd be as invested as we are in the sport, and particularly in the Premier League, if it didn't have the ability to surprise. We've seen City were arguably a better team last season. You agree with that?
Mm-hmm. Agreed,
When
100%.
we saw this, we saw City drop points to Nottingham Forest. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It took them scoring a goal late on to muster a draw against Nottingham Forest. That's the reality that we're seeing now. And remember, firstly, City are frail defensively.
Mhm.
They're giving away goals that we haven't seen City do in previous seasons. And we're also seeing teams that are ready to capitalize on that, And no one is above having a bad day at the office. I think the one thing we must say is, of course, it's in their favor right now. But if you ask me if they can drop points, I definitely believe that they can drop points. It's just about the other teams holding up their end of the bargain, because it doesn't, if they drop points and the other teams can't capitalize, it does nothing, you know?
Like, man, you're a very optimistic guy by nature. And now your optimism is just shining through, bro. And I don't think you're looking at this logically. Because what I did, I looked at this, I looked at this, I looked at their games, bro. And severely. And I was like, okay, we beat Brighton at home that you want to say. We smashed them 3-0. They went to Burnley over the weekend. They couldn't Burnley kept missing. Burnley, I think, had like 2 XG over them. It's not, Brighton are not, they're at that beach vibe because they know we can't really go on to get European football. We're not going to go on and get relegated. They're in that limbo state and their performances are coming through. And they also have a lot of injuries. I feel like Brighton have just accepted their fate in terms of the season. Like, they had high hopes of carrying on in the league, probably to trying to get European football again. They had high hopes of going on to do well in the Europa League. And like injuries within their squad, losing some of their best players has just impacted them. So I feel like in the stage of the season now where they are, I don't think they make that much of a competition to Man City. Just the same way as when we played them, we're able to beat them. But saying that to the side, I hear what you're saying. I get that. Brighton away is still a good proposition. I agree.
And I only mentioned Brighton because it's their next game.
No,
There's still a lot
listen,
of games
I
after
agree,
that.
Thizo. I agree. But what I'm trying to say is, you mentioning Man City dropping points against Nottingham Forest and blah, blah, blah. I get that. What I'm trying to make us contextualize is the scenario is now in this stage of the season when Man City are ahead. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I'm not trying to say in a holistic view. Yes, in a 90-minute game, anybody can beat anybody. Man City can drop points against this guy. Yes. I'm just trying to say to you that your optimism mustn't fool you from the fact of the matter is that these guys just know. And also why I say that is when I look into the games, the only game that I see them dropping points in, right, is Tottenham away. And also with Tottenham away, with Arsenal trying to win the league, that also is a bit tricky. But when I look at their games, bro, it's Brighton, it's Nottingham Forest, it's like, dude, Man City can win these games. I am like 90 to 95% sure. So hence why now I say that, knowing that with these two teams, Klopp, Arteta, Arsenal, Liverpool, they could not afford to do this. And also, if they do this, if it so happens that Man City go on a run or whatever the case might be, don't do it to yourself. And that's what I'm saying. And for me, remember, if you recall when we had the last chat, I said to you that I see Liverpool and Arsenal dropping points in one game at least, going ahead in this into the run-in.
Yeah.
It's just about if Man City will also drop points at the same rate. I didn't think it would happen this soon, and I didn't think they would both be losses. So now that that's already happened, I still foresee us between us and Liverpool dropping points again. And Man City can still afford to drop points in one game, right? And still go on to do it. That's why I'm saying that, bro. We've really, like, Liverpool and Arsenal have really shot themselves in the foot here. And there's no way of sugarcoating or running away from it, bro.
Absolutely. And I think for me, my answer was less about Liverpool and Arsenal and purely based on City. That's why I said at the end of it that it only matters, like City dropping points only matters if the other teams are able to capitalize on that. Because if you can't capitalize on that, it makes no difference, you
True.
know? Um, I think any team can drop points in the league, you know? Um, or you can drop points to any team in the league.
Mhm.
That's part of what makes this league so interesting. It
True.
isn't like your Bundesliga, for example, where there's kind of games where you just know it's a foregone conclusion that that team is getting beat. You know, now it's just a matter of how bad are they going to get beaten, type of thing. You know, um, no game is easy, particularly um, against these teams that are trying to win points. And sometimes when that pressure is removed, right? So you
Mhm.
see, for example, I'll reference Arsenal's game against Villa yesterday. You could feel in that game that Arsenal needed something from the game, right? They were desperate to get something from the game. What that does is it adds pressure. Whereas the other team is just like, yo, we're just going to contain, contain, contain. And it was so interesting listening to Nasri speak about how in the when Arsenal played Barca in the Champions League, he was like, when they went to 0-0 at halftime, Arsene Wenger was like, just survive 15 minutes of that second half. When that second half starts, just survive 15 minutes and you're gonna win this game. Unfortunately, we know that they didn't survive 15 minutes. They went on to concede 2 goals in that 15 minutes. And that's kind of how yesterday's game for Arsenal played out as well. Where Emery would have went in at halftime and said, boys, if we didn't go in losing after that first half, just survive 15 minutes. You survive that 15 minutes, the pressure starts to get to you, right? And I don't think
Mhm.
that that's unique to any team. I think that now you get into the season where like everything matters and the pressure internally for yourself. We saw it with City in the Champions League final as well.
Mm.
It was nervy. It wasn't like nerves of steel City where they just believe they're going to win. It took that Rodri goal for them to just breathe and be like, wow, okay, actually, this might actually go for us. And I think that could happen in the league as well. When I referenced Nottingham Forest drawing with City, even in that game, City looked destined to lose that game. And it took a goal late on for them to be like, sure, at least we didn't completely lose it. At least we were able to get a draw. And I think that with the 6 games that we have left in the season, there will be a lot of those moments for all 3 teams. Because you say, for example, Brighton aren't playing for anything, right? Crystal Palace weren't playing for anything when they went to Anfield. They aren't playing to be in Europe, you know? They're not really going to get sucked into the relegation battle with how much better they are than the other teams. But it's just like when the opportunity presents itself, if people are missing, if he, as you're saying about Darwin, if he can't hit a barn door, it's just like, yo, let's just do what we need to do. Let's put the ball into the back of the net, and whatever happens from there happens. You know, I think we're gonna see a lot of those games from here until the end of the season.
Nah, I hear what you're saying, bro. I hear what you're saying, man. I think, yeah, man, it's a tough one. I don't know what to think. Because you know why, bro? You know why? And that's why I want to get to this part of the chat. Is like, I feel duped, bro. I feel hoodwinked. I feel tricked, bro, by Arsenal
But
Football Club and Mikel Arteta. They've tricked me, bro. Bro, I don't know what I did to deserve Kane in my life. Because, bro, like, all I ask, bro, all I ask, bro. And the thing that got me the most, right, about yesterday, fam, like, if I'm gonna lose, bro, like, let me lose while I'm going for the game. And like, I got like 9 men up the pitch, and then they just happened on a corner, punched it out, counter, goal. Oh, I want to lose like that, bro. Not the way they lost yesterday, fam. Like, we had no fight, like, no will. Like, the second half, I'm just sitting there watching, bro. And the only way I could
mm,
control myself is because, like, I was at my aunt's place, and they had like a power outage. So I was watching on my laptop, and then like they were also there. And you know me, bro. Like I'm on my Apple. And I was just like, just I was like just watching this. I was like,
Yeah.
Like, get your 50-50, bro. Get a 50-50. Put your leg in, you know. And also another thing, bro. I'm a very I fought for David Raya, bro. There's a brew that we do the a podcast with on another sports story, right? He's also an Arsenal fan, and he's a big Ramsdale fan, right? And I was like to him, look, I like Ramsdale too. However, you cannot say to me that bringing Raya in has not improved our defense. It's in the numbers.
Yeah.
This guy's like leading for golden thingy, for the golden glove, right? And his response to me is like, yes, because he's in front of William Saliba and Gabriel, like a really strong-ish back four with the left back. I don't know what's going on with that situation. But essentially, like we're very strong defensively. But him himself, bro, apart from the sporting thingy, not sporting, no, Porto, right? The penalty
Porto,
shootout.
yeah.
Apart from that, bro, this guy hasn't saved us. Like I understand the distribution, I understand all that, but this guy's just he's not a saver, bro. And sometimes, especially in games like this, I need a man to save, bro. I need a man to save. Somebody on AFTV made the comparison. I don't know if you're watching you of course you are, the Man United and Liverpool game where Zoboslai is going clear on goal. And then like it's one-on-one with Onana, bro. And the way Onana just saves that, like David Raya ain't saving that. If a player is bearing down
Yeah.
on David Raya, it's a goal. Even if it's a long range shot, speculative, it might be a goal. And this is becoming very hard to defend with David Raya. And I wanted to raise this up with
Yeah.
you, right, as part of the chat, because I know you are very much big on David Raya being one of the star players of Arsenal. But my guy, like, this
100%.
is becoming very hard to defend. It's becoming very, very hard to defend what this guy's doing. Like, he's not like uh, I don't know, bro. Like, I'm even running out of words.
So I think with regards to David Raya, we're comparing him to Ramsdale
No, wait. Before you continue,
because
before you continue, now, I don't want this to be a rare Ramsdale thing. No, let's not do that. We've done that.
him on
It's
his
tired. Just him on his
own.
own, bro. Like his performances for us right now, like watching and stuff. Like I see the distribution, I see all of that. But my guy, like, save us. Save me, bro. Ollie Watkins should not be scoring that. And there's many goals that I can think of off the top of my head. Like, there's goals that he should be saving, or at least trying to look like he's trying to save. Even the goal against Bayern, when he did the mishap, where Gabriel got muddled in his head, didn't know where to pass back, and then he ends up giving Kivio a bad pass. And then we still give the ball away. And I just feel even the shot that Serge Gnabry does, bro, like the way it goes off his leg, my guy, like it's even like, come on, man. And then the penalty with Kane, you sell yourself so early. Even Kane said after the game, like, I studied this guy's penalties and I knew that from Porto, he's going to go early. So I just had to. And Kane never takes a penalty like that, ever. But also him, David Raya, do your homework, bro. But essentially, bro, it's becoming very hard to defend.
I think we should also be careful not to be caught up in the moment, you know.
Agreed. Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
it's obviously on the back of a very painful loss, but I think when you look at yesterday's goals, for example, right? Prior to our game, the Liverpool game, would you have mentioned Alisson in the same breath when he got chipped by Mateta? No, because he had
Hmm.
Robertson covering. The chip is the exact same, right? It's
Nah, I don't
literally the
think it's the
exact same chip.
same, bro.
There-
It's not
There's
the
only so there's
same.
only so much you can do because he can't stand on his line and give any more room because then he can pick his spot, which makes it
Mhm.
harder. And he can see that Emil Smith Rowe isn't keeping up with this guy, isn't going to foul this guy, isn't going to be able to nick the ball away. So what he's essentially trying to do is trying to come to him, make himself big, and hope that that'll be enough to stop it. But if the guy dinks the ball over you, as a keeper, that's like you're in an impossible situation. When you look at though in the first half, right? the Watkins chance there off the Gabriel misplaced pass on Zinchenko. I think David Raya does really well in that instance because he makes the angle difficult such that Watkins has to go a bit wider than he would hitting the post. I think when we think of keepers, there's great keepers that are like elite shot stoppers, right? I think that like everyone can do that. But the goals you're referencing, I don't see as mistakes from David Raya. I
That's not what I'm
genuinely don't. And
saying.
I'm not
But
just looking
that's not what
about,
I'm
I'm not just,
saying. I'm not saying those are mistakes, Thizo. I'm saying to you, bro, right? A keeper, right? Part of the one thing, and I don't want us to chat about the keeper thing like for too long. I'm just saying, I just want my keeper to bail me out in a situation where I like he's the only one that can. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That I'm just trying to say that I want to see that part of David. I'm not trying to for us to nitpick in this thing. I'm just trying to say, bro, like there's many instances whereby, dude, you can see a goal is happening. And Allison just wow. I've never had that moment with David Ray. I don't want to lie, I've never had it. And for the
I
fact that
haven't.
wait. And the
I
fact that
like the fact,
we're
sorry.
going towards the end of the season, right? And he still hasn't. And there's many a goals, Tizo, where I'm like, dude, you have to do better on that. You understand? And the ones where I'm looking at the goal, I'm like, you have to do better on that. That's the one where you have to do better. You are playing the elite football. You're trying to win the Premier League trophy. You have to do spectaculars at some stage. We can't just be getting away with you doing the bare minimum, bro. We're not gonna win with guys that do the bare minimum, and that's why he changed the keeper in the first place because he felt like Ramsdale is good enough, but he's not giving me that. And then now we're gonna reach a point like we came with a thingy with where we are with Gabriel and Zinchenko, where we bought guys that are supposed to elevate us. Now we need to improve on the elevations. Do you understand? Like it's just so, and that's why I'm telling you, like I feel tricked, bro, because we're supposed to be done with this rebuild, bro, and we are still doing the same damn things yet again, bro. And that's so frustrating to me, Tizo. And I know you're optimistic, and I know you want to save time. I just wanted to get it out of my head that these guys tricked me, bro. And I said in the beginning of the year that Arsenal ain't going to win the league, and I was very much confident in that. But when you go to Dubai and you come back and you win so many games in a row, I'm also human. Like I also like to contextualize things. I'm a sensible thinker. I need to change with the times. I can't be like, why are you winning so many games? Why are you top of the league? Don't do that. My prediction was this. No, I change with the times. But this is exactly why, bro. Because in the beginning of the season, I saw we didn't have the metal. And also this coach, Arteta, I love him, but he just why do you always get things wrong at the most pivotal of times? It's my problem, bro.
And I think it's like it's very revisionist, right? Which is why I think it's very difficult to speak about like being impartial when it comes to your team, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like had we won that game yesterday, had we scored 3 goals in the first half and conceded those 2 goals later on, your sentiments on selection, your sentiments on the keeper would be different, right? And I think that's the point that we need to reach
I
because
don't
we
know.
need to understand that you know what we're comparing. We're trying to
Yeah.
compare ourselves to dynasties,
Yes.
but dynasties aren't built overnight in
Yes.
clubs like Arsenal,
Yes.
right? They're not built overnight in clubs like Arsenal because
Mhm.
when you look at, for example, a City, right? City, Pep came in, brought Claudio Bravo, and within a season realized that Claudio Bravo's not at the level, so he went out and got Edison. This is while they're bringing in other key figures within the club, right? But they
Mhm.
have such a luxury that in any position where Pep feels in a season that they're not where he'd like for them to be, you already know that they're going to be in the market for a marquee player. It's very, very different when you're an Arsenal fan, and it's important that we know that, right? It is important that we contextualize that.
Yes.
Let us not forget there were reasons why you said this team wouldn't win the league at the beginning of the season.
Yes.
And I think, if anything, you should be the most calm of all of us, because they were defying what you had seen. They were defying what you had thought would be like.
But that's why I'm saying that's why I'm saying to you that I feel tricked, because my anger doesn't stem from why they bottled it. Like I don't subscribe to that type of lingo and shit like that. It's whatever, you understand? I'm just trying to say I got tricked into believing into something that I didn't want to believe in. But if you ask the sensible me, the sensible guy, and also it's also outside influences, bro. You know, I'm on X a lot. You know, we friends with a lot of Man United fans. So also like their stuff is like J. Cole, the thing. I understand now. When people have influence you, you just want to you know. So that's why I'm just like if I contextualize,
don't get sucked into it, bro.
I'm not getting sucked into it. I think that's why
you can't take away the reason why I say you haven't been tricked is because one loss doesn't undo the fact that we're in April and we literally hadn't dropped points this year except the game against City. Yeah. That's not a trick.
Yeah, that's why I also find it hard to like critique.
That's not a trick.
Like it's very hard for me to like come down on these guys, because you can't do that. And then even look the fans, bro. Like I was like, oh guys, 80th minute, fans are gone. What? I was like, what's going on here? Like, because it's confusing to me too.
Because we thought it was gonna be straightforward.
Yeah.
We're the best defensively. We've scored the most offensively. So surely we're definitely gonna win the league. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
That isn't how it works. When you look at all these, like when you look at Klopp, for example, who people widely regarded as a legend in the Premier League, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were his first few seasons like? He kept falling short. And imagine he's falling short on the last day of the season, you know, when it was a bit of a blip, but they still had enough that they could they would win, or they could win. And then they ended up not winning, right? I think it is so important for us to remember that this was never going to be a straightforward win. It was never going to be. If we're having this discussion and yesterday's game is the last game of the season and now the season is done, I'd understand the reaction. But we're not there.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, bro. And you see now you're the way you are now, right? Is the way I essentially was when people are talking about this and I'm just seeing the chatter online. I'm just like, yo, like guys, these men have done, and even with Arteta, it stays like, we were going to drop points at some stage. It's all about how we react now, type of thing. And I fully get that, right? I just think the context of it all and just like the outside chatter and like just like everything like that, bro, when you put into account, and also I'm a person of, because I sometimes bet from time to time, and also we play fancy football. I study trends, bro. Trends are what, like, essentially, if you keep doing or choosing one thing for like a sustained period of time, you know, you'll eventually get it right. And that's why I'm like, time tells us, history tells us, if you let Man City lead at this stage of the season, eventually, like, it's going to be a wrap. And that's why I'm just like, yes, I can be optimistic, but also the data tells me that my optimism is, you know, a bit wary. But I hear you, bro. But in conclusion, for the sake of time, bro, do you think, I don't know, man. I just think it's going to be very interesting. And I just hope that Liverpool and Arsenal just do their part to make sure that at least, bro, we get to game week 37, 36, 38 with this still a fight. That's the one thing I'm hoping for. I don't want Man City to just wrap this up and we keep fumbling and chopping our legs in front of us, you know, and chopping our noses to spite our faces and doing it to ourselves. That's the one thing I don't want us to do. I want us to keep pace. Yeah. I want Liverpool also to keep pace, even though I was happy that they lost. But now I want them to keep pace as well. I don't want Man City to run away with this. and your last words, bro.
Yeah, I think completely do your part. That's both for Arsenal and for Liverpool, and see where the chips land. And I like the fact that when you listen to both sets of players after the negative results yesterday, that was the response, where it's just like, look, we're just going to do our part. And that's all you can do. So hopefully it's still going to be a lot of
Yeah.
interesting results before the end of the season, a lot of
Yeah.
twist and turn, and let's see how it plays out.
But yeah, man. Anyway, it's a pleasure, bro. Everybody, please keep liking, subscribing. It's gonna get interesting.
Like, subscribe.
Let's go.